Welcome back to our Goss Countdown show, where we're counting down the final hour to the Winter Love Island finale 2023. So tonight our show is brought to you by Shein, and there's a special discount code tonight, Goss LI15, to get 15% off all Shein orders. So make sure to take note. Also, I'm wearing Shein tonight. Our celebrity guests are wearing Shein tonight. So head to our socials to see all the details there. And just a big thank you to Shein, a global e-retailer who are committed to making the beauty of fashion accessible to all. Now, it has been a winter season that has warmed us up, from heads turning every 5 seconds to that very dramatic Casa Amor stint, to hearing I love you earlier than ever before. And let's not forget all the arguments, the bickering, the bitching behind fellow contestants' back. Yes, it's been a season of many ups and downs, and tonight we're going to be deeping it. It's my new favourite phrase from this season. We're going to be chatting through some of the biggest moments of the show, and we're going to be talking about the final couples who are there tonight, about to be crowned the winner. I'm so excited. And we're going to talk about who we think are going to win the ultimate prize. To help us dissect this season, we have some amazing guests for you tonight, including Love Island 2022 star Paige Thorne. Yes. And Love Island 2021 winner. We have Liam Reardon here, guys. Yeah, very exciting. We're also going to be sharing some exclusive interviews throughout the night with some of this year's Love Island contestants, including OG Islander Tanielle Raven, Bombshell Ellie Spence, and Olivia Hawkins. And they are spilling the tea, guys. I'm very excited. But first up, I am joined by our deputy editor, Sophie Clark, and we're going to just talk a little bit about what we felt this season was like. So, Sophie, you've been writing about the season quite a lot on goss.ie. How would you sum it up? Was it exciting? Was it boring? Was there ups? Was there downs? How was it for you?
Definitely ups and downs. I mean, it started off very exciting. There was a lot of drama. It's kind of had a bit of a slow few weeks now in the lead up to the final.
Yeah, it's always boring when people are happy.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, we want more drama, we want more fallouts, more bombshells. But
yeah.
No, it's been interesting. Like, my favourite thing about covering it is checking out the Twitter reactions online and seeing what everyone else says about it.
Yeah.
And checking out the funny reactions, the memes.
The memes are so good.
Yeah.
And I think the season really kicked off in big style this year because Maya Jama became the host for the first time. And honestly, I think the Twitter reaction was mainly just about her. Is that what you were saying at the start?
She's just like everyone's favourite person in the world. She's like ultimate
she
girl
is
crush.
Hot.
She is hot. My absolute ultimate girl crush.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with her. Every time she comes out, any of those outfits, it's like couple up with her. She looks amazing.
Every time she goes into the villa, I honestly think the lads are like, can we recouple with her?
You could see it at the start, definitely. They were definitely trying to put in a few little moves on her.
So you were saying there was some drama at the beginning of the show. Who can forget Olivia and Zara? Oh my God. I thought there was going to be hair being pulled out. What was that like to report on? I mean, what was the coverage online? Were people going insane? Were they loving the drama?
Everyone was loving the drama. I think everyone was just most intrigued by, like, did they or did they not know each other? Which we found out later. They worked on a music video together. Yes. Olivia's told us they kind of were we're colleagues and friends, but I think that was the main thing. People were like, is it a fix? Do they know each other? Do they have
because their fights
before?
were so volatile. Everyone was like, this has to be deeper. There has to be more to this.
That's the thing. People were kind of sharing their theories online, like, oh, was there like beef between them beforehand? Was there a fallout over a boy in the past? And that's why there was so much drama. But it turns out there wasn't. It turns out they just...
I know. I was actually shocked that Zara went home. I feel like that tells me that the producers really don't have that much of a hand in it, because I think they would have kept her in. She was causing so much drama. Another thing that I feel like a lot of us have forgotten about is Ron at the beginning turned his head every 5 seconds. If the door opened and literally a cobweb flew in, he was like, my head's turned. So he's changed a lot throughout the season. Is he going to be this year's kind of hero that was at first the villain?
I definitely didn't forget about it for a while. I was definitely like, didn't trust him after those antics, but he's definitely redeemed himself. And I think the last few weeks people have been really feeling sorry for him more than anything because they feel like he's been ganged up a bit in the villa.
Yeah.
Even online, the reaction has been, it went from he's the villain to now, oh, we feel bad for him.
We feel bad for him.
He is a nice person. He does love her.
Let's just ask the audience. Do you guys think here that Ron is legit? Oh, mixed. Well, we'll find out tonight if he's the real deal or if the public think he's the real deal.
I do think he is. I think he's redeemed himself, definitely, and I think he does love her. It was early on, and people forget that. It takes a few weeks to actually form these connections. He wanted to look at explore different connections, and that's what he did, and you know, it's worked out anyway.
Another standout kind of love triangle or like bad boy this year was Terrace Tom, as he ended up being known as. He was involved in so many different love triangles. Zara, Olivia, Ellie. I mean, he really brought the drama.
He did. I love Tom. And I don't know, people definitely have mixed reactions with him too. I think everyone going in there, every bombshell was just drawn to him. I think it was the height was definitely one thing. I think he's 6'5" or something, so everyone's like obsessed with him. He was funny. He's kind of very like laid back and chill, and then he kind of, as the weeks went on, you got to see his true personality. I think he's a funny character, and I think him and Zombie are so cute. I think.
And obviously Shaq and Tanya are in the final tonight. Do we have Shaq and Tanya fans here tonight? Oh. Because I think it's fair to say this year's Casa Amor, although Liam will chat about your Casa Amor, but this year's Casa Amor, it's coming up. This year's Casa Amor, I do think, was one of the most dramatic. So many people's heads were turned, so many fights happened. Do you think Shaq was an idiot for taking her back?
I did initially. I mean, again, I think the issue with him was that they'd said they loved each other, so they had taken it that bit further. Yeah. People were saying that it was very quick when they said they love each other, and I do think he had fallen for her a lot quicker than she fell for him. So I think that's why she was open to exploring. Yeah.
When the parents episode came in, it was interesting to see people were not a fan of Tanya. Even her own family weren't happy with her. Before we kick off the show, I just want to talk about as well the divide in the villa. I feel like this year was probably one of the worst years for tensions between the other contestants. Shaq and Ron had a divide, then it was Tom and the lads, then it was Casey and Will, then it was Olivia and Jessie. There was so many tensions. Do you think this was probably the most fraught villa series?
Definitely, and I think people are saying that online too. Everyone is like dying for the reunion episode already, because they're like, it's just going to be, everyone's going to get a chance to watch what their co-stars are saying behind their backs, and they're like, oh, like not any of them are friends really. Like they literally all spoke about each other, behind each other's back. It was wild. It was.
And like, do they not know they're being filmed? Like, it's going to come out at some point, and we'll talk about movie night later. Well, that's it from us for the moment. Later on, we're going to be giving our predictions on who we think is going to win tonight. But before we get to that, it's time to chat to one of the original Love Islanders from this season. She left fans convinced that she fancied her pal Ron deep down, and she stuck up for herself when Kai fancied Sammy, and she left right before she could find a connection. Take a look at our exclusive interview that I did today with Tanyelle. Tanyelle, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you guys?
Good. We're very, very excited for the finale tonight. Are you looking forward to the party tonight?
I'm so looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm really excited.
We're excited to see you back in the room with everybody again. I think there's going to be so much drama. We need to go back to the beginning of your journey, because we really want to talk about how the experience was for you, because you had a lot of ups, you had a lot of downs. How can you summarize the experience for you?
I feel like I had the most amazing time. Like, I went into it very open-minded, and I was just like, I'm going to go and enjoy the experience. If I find love, I find love. If I don't, I'm not going to force it. One thing is like, I think everyone could even see, like, I was not going to force it at all. But I had a really good time. Like, I made connections with people. Obviously, it wasn't strong enough. I made lovely friends, and I just had like a really nice experience. I'm glad I'd done it. And when I left, it felt like the right time to leave. Like, I never left being so upset. I was just like, whatever's meant to be will be.
Yeah, I felt out of everyone, you were so cool about it, because I think sometimes on the show, if you don't find a connection, sometimes contestants will just fake a connection because they want to stay. But it felt like you were like, no, I'm not feeling it. You just stayed true to yourself.
100%, because I would never force anything. And I've always said I'm not going to settle. So why would I settle for less? You know what I mean? I'm not going to have that. And also, I feel like a majority of the boys were younger than me, and I just was like, well, I don't want to date a younger guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I in my head I was like, I want an older guy, someone similar to me, someone who could put me in my place. Then Jordan come and he was lovely, but I just felt like he wasn't cheeky enough, and I felt like I was trying to, you know, when you're trying to not force it, but like I'm trying to see if it goes somewhere because he's so lovely. But you shouldn't have to do that. You should just really like someone from the get-go. But yeah, so I just knew I wasn't going to like anyone enough. So I was kind of happy to go. And plus, I miss my family so much. So I was like, see ya.
And I'm sure you've seen since you come out of the villa, obviously so many viewers at home were convinced that you and Ron had kind of a secret connection underneath the friendship. Was there anything there, or were you guys just so close as friends?
Honestly, he will be a friend for life. Like, I can already see, like, the day that I get married and the day that he gets married, like, we'll be at each other's wedding. And I really want him in my life forever. Like, he's the nicest person ever. We just really got each other. I don't know if it's because we're just so similar. And I really felt like I could trust him. Like, I felt like he had my best interest at heart, and the same vice versa. And like, when we coupled up, I could honestly just open up and say to him, like, I actually really fancy Kai now. And like, you know, like, it's like if I wanted advice from him, I could literally go to him and be like, so what do you think he's thinking? And be cheeky, and I know Ron would tell me and we'd gossip about it. Like, it wasn't awkward at all. And that's how I just kind of knew we just had a friendship.
So were you surprised then when the girls, especially Olivia, I know when the kissing challenge happened, everyone seemed to be saying, oh, there's more here, this isn't okay, poor Lana. Were you really shocked then to hear that that's what was being said?
100%. And so I don't know what you guys have seen, but I actually saw that Olivia was being a bit weird about it. So I actually pulled her aside and I said, are you talking about me? She tried to deny that and was like, we'll speak later. I had to pull her again and I said, no. What you're doing now is not right. You're trying to basically pull my friend again, like, away from me and put things into her head. And I just don't think that's nice. And if you're such a straight person, why would you not come and say that to my face? Also, that aside, everyone kissed Ron. The only thing I did differently was just kiss less people. So I found that like bizarre. I was like, so what's the issue here? You kissed him. I actually had a conversation with Ron about it. I was like, I don't get it. Like, have I done something wrong? Because in there you second guess yourself, and she tried to do that to me, and that's one thing I hated, because I know who I am, so I shouldn't have even doubted myself.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because I think there's a lot of talk about who's playing a game and who's not. Do you think situations like that, people are putting their opinions out there, they're twisting things, they're getting ideas into people's heads? Is that just to basically play up to the cameras and make it more interesting?
Let me tell you something. If someone does that and tries to have too much of an opinion on someone else's relationship, everyone's going to have a bit of an opinion. That's normal. But to do it so much where you must be bored to be doing that, it's because you're playing the game. 100%. Because if you're truly happy in your couple or within yourself as a person, you do not need to pick at other people. Because I really wouldn't care to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you were in the villa, you never seemed to get involved in other people's relationships. It seems like since you've left, that's where everyone has started to get involved. Like, what did you think of the big divide that started happening in the last couple of days?
So, do you know what? It's so sad to see like Ron actually go through that, because I genuinely think he really liked Lana and really does like Lana. But this actually was happening when I was in the villa. So they were picking on him quite a lot, and I was always like, no, I'm not having this. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't like stuff like that. Like, do not pick on people. I think that's so mean. And if you've got something to say and it's genuine, say it to their face. Do you know what I mean? A lot of that was happening, and there was a few times where I'd be like, what are you lot doing? Like, why do you even care? Like, I could not care what people are doing in their lives, honestly. And it's like, if you are so invested and you care that much, why are you speaking about him behind his back? Because I'd be fuming. Like, when I come back and I saw that Liv was talking about me behind my back, I was like, you couldn't just say this to my face. Like, did I have to pull you up so many times?
And it does make me wonder, are people picking on Ron in particular because Ron and Lana are such a strong couple that people kind of want them to just be out?
Exactly that. And also, it just makes me question, if you are so real in your relationships and your couples, then would you really care about someone else and what they're doing in their life? Because I know one thing for a fact, my whole life, I've never cared what anyone else is doing in their life, because nothing's a competition. Everyone's doing their own thing at the end of the day, and you should never really care what other people are doing. If someone comes to me and asks me for their opinion, 100% I'll give it. But if I've got something to say, I'll say it to your face, and I would not really be that invested. Like, I really couldn't care.
And in the villa, you're better off saying it to people's faces, because it always comes back to bite you. It's like people forget the cameras.
Like, you know what I was thinking when I left? Like, are you serious? The cameras are recording you. Do you really think that no one's going to see this? Seriously, but what can you do? And
obviously, your biggest connection there was with Kai, but I was so shocked in how he treated you when Sammy walked in. Like, obviously, we know it's a game, it's an experiment, you're meant to look at different people, but he seemed to drop you so quickly, and I know you picked that up on it straight away, and you were just not happy with being treated like that. So what was that whole situation like for you? Like, how did that feel?
So I felt like, right, I don't know if I'm just overthinking while I'm in there, but at the time, you know what I realised? Like, Kai would come over to me a few times and just be like, you never tell me how you feel. You never really tell me that you like me. Like, I'm basically oblivious to how you're feeling. And I think he felt maybe a little bit mugged off. I also felt like I noticed that whenever he'd done stuff that would irritate me, I'd then give a reaction, because I'd be like, okay, he doesn't think I care, so let me show him. Yeah. And then when I do that, it's like he enjoyed that, because then he'd get that satisfaction to be like, oh, she's showing me she cares. This is just how I felt in my own head. I could be so wrong, I don't know. But so it got to the point where I was like to Ron, feel like he's trying to do things to get a reaction out of me. Like, he enjoys that because then he thinks that I care. And that was just really starting to piss me off. And then when the whole Sammy thing happened, I thought, you know what? I would never deal with this shit on the outside world in a million years. So I'm not going to put up with it in him. I'm not being funny. I ain't in love with him. I've only known him for like however long. So on to the next one. I literally thought, I ain't going to put up with this. No way. But me and him like addressed the situation after, and like when we actually spoke about everything, we were like, you know what, we're actually so different as people that we really wouldn't have got on like long term. So in a way, we just left it as friends, and I was actually very happy to see him after get with Sanam, and I think they're so compatible.
Really? I was going to ask you, because I felt like there was a bit of a pattern with Kai, because when he got with Olivia, it seemed like the same situation happened again, where he was obsessed with someone for 5 minutes and then suddenly another girl came. It seemed like the relationships are getting repeated, but you think him and Sanam, they're the real deal?
I don't know if it'll work on the outside world, because I can't lie, I feel like it's become very, I feel like people they know that it's getting to the end, whatever. Yeah. However, I have to just be honest, because I'm not a hater. I actually do think she's most suited for him, more than I was never going to be suited for him long term. No way, we're too different. But she's actually really well suited for him. Like, the way she even speaks to him and stuff, she's so caring. And not to say that I'm not, but she will invest much more energy and time and give him everything he wants, I think, in a relationship, more than I would, because I think I'm too laid back and too careless. But I actually do think they fit. So I do think she's better suited to him. Do I think they will last forever? I don't know. Like, it's so hard to tell. I think you never know until you're out.
Now, how has it been for you since you came out into the real world? Have you got any good people sliding into your DMs? Are you back in the dating scene? What's been happening?
So I've just been so busy. Like, it's hard to keep up with everything, literally. Like, and I'm terrible at like even responding to people. But I've just had like so many meetings. Like, I've got management now. She's lovely. Like, it's just, I've been trying to like get work, prioritizing myself. So yeah, like, I'm open to like seeing and dating people, but one thing for a fact is whoever that special person is has to be older, I think, for me.
Older and cheeky, that's what I'm hearing.
Cheeky, yeah, like, I love it. I need someone like that.
And what do you think then of the final couples that are left? Who do you think should win, but who do you think is going to win? Are those two different couples in your mind?
Okay, so even though I think Kai and Sanam are very compatible, obviously I'll be happy if they win, but for me, I'm obviously going to pick the people that I really care about, and I actually really like. And I think that the top two couples for me would be Ron and Lana, obviously, and Tom and Sammy. I'd be happy for either of them two to win. I really hope, like, whoever it is out of them two, I'd be really happy. Okay. Obviously, Ron being my bestie, I really want him to win. Like, I really want him to win. I'm literally in contact with his mum, and we speak every day. I'm like, don't stress. He's winning. This, that.
It must be so hard for you watching what's been going on the last 2 weeks, because everyone was kind of ganging up on Ron. Were you like screaming at the TV at home, being like, leave him alone?
You know what? You're not going to believe this, but I actually felt like at some point I didn't want to watch it. Like, unless I tried my best not to even watch some of it. Honestly, I'd see clips and I'd get angry. I'd actually get angry because I'd be like, it's such a piss take, because it's like, can't you even see, even if someone was wrong in a situation, like, does it mean that you all have to gang up on someone? I just don't think it's fair. And I'm so glad that the whole world can see this, because this is what was actually going on in there, and it was actually coming on to me just because I was Ron's friend, like, in there, and we were so close. So they were even doing that to me in there, and I wouldn't care. Like, they'd be coming with Ron, would be like, honestly, I appreciate you so much, but enough. You don't need to stick up for me, because you don't deserve to be put in that situation. And I'd be like, I don't care if 100 or thousands of people are against, like, you. If you're my friend, then for me, I'm like, that's ride or die. Like, if you're my friend, I'll always stick up for you and defend you, because that's my friend. My loyalty will always be with you. I will never side with everyone else just because everyone else is against them, because I'm not stupid. I can see through it. Like,
was it tense when you were in there with the girls as well? Because I know since you came out, you were talking about some kind of feuds that we didn't really see. Like, was there constant fights going on?
I wouldn't say constant fights, but I would say a lot of people had opinions that they would never say to your face. And every single time, I would always pull them off on it if I ever had a feeling. And they would never be 100% truthful. I found that this season was very, very bitchy, actually. They should have called it Drama Island. But
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Olivia, 100%.
But not even, honestly, not even just that. Like, I'd say, like, even Ellie, like, when I come out and I saw, like, the video she'd put up on YouTube, I've actually done, like, a response in a YouTube video, which I haven't put up just yet. I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, you would never say this shit to my face. Like, this is so not what happened. It's so twisted. But it's just, like, people just play on things and twist situations just because, obviously, they want a bit of limelight. But that's just not me. Like, I would never, I've even said coming out of it, like, I'll never come out of my way to go out with people from the show just because they're from the show. Like, unless I really like you, I am not making that effort. I could not care less.
That was going to be my last question to you, and I cannot wait for that YouTube video, but I was just going to ask you, who are you dying to see and who would you happily never see again from the villa?
So I'm going to actually see Liv tonight at the party. I think she's going to be there.
Yeah. So
I'll probably address my situation with her. Whether she's happy to do that or not, I don't know. I don't really care, but I just want to get it over and done with. I would love to have Lana, Ron and Sammy in my life. They're the only people, and also Zara already, but I'm saying like for the people in the villa.
Yeah.
I'd say them three, the people out the villa, I'd say Harris and Zara. Definitely, but the rest, can't lie, I couldn't care about.
I love your honesty.
Well, because you know what, you got to have that same respect back to me. Otherwise, I really couldn't care. I've got enough friends in my life. I've got a lovely family. I do not need any extra people just because they're in the limelight. I couldn't care.
Yeah, I love it. I love your independence. I love your honesty. Thank you so much for chatting to us, Tanya. We can't wait to watch that YouTube video, and best of luck tonight. I hope you have a really good time.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
It's time to be you. Be brave. Be confident. Have fun. Wear your wonderful. Shop Shein.
I loved that interview. I feel like Tanya was just ready to spill the tea. Now it's time to spill some more tea. We're here with the Love Island 2022 star, Paige Thorne. And doesn't she look amazing? Are you having a good night?
I am. Thank you very much for having me.
Tonight must bring back all sorts of flashbacks for you. Are you just imagining right now what everybody's going through in the villa?
Well, I actually didn't get as far as the final, so thanks for rubbing that one in.
I know, but I mean, like, you know what the tensions are like. It's leading up to the end. You got very far in your series.
Yeah, I did. I got to the meeting the parents bit. So I did all the hard graphs and then didn't even get to the good bit. But
so talk us through the meeting the parents day, for example. Okay, we saw that the other day. Are you so nervous that the parents are going to be obsessed with you? Like, are you nervous they're going to come in and be like, I don't like her?
Do you know what? My mum just ruined me, didn't she, when she came in? She just gave it to me straight.
I remember your mum.
And the silence on TV was only about 10 seconds, but in real life, it went on for about 5 minutes. I was like, Mum, please say something else.
But does it kind of serve as a way to validate your relationship if the mom and dad come in and they're like, I like him or I like her? Is that what kind of helps the Islanders in there?
Yeah, it definitely helps. And I would say, for future reference, take on parents' advice.
Yes.
Because that will help in the long run.
You know who we should be booing right now? Let's give a boo. Boo. Yeah, okay. Right, so you were only in the villa 6 months ago, which really, really isn't that long. So how do you feel about it now, looking back at this point in time?
Do you know what? I absolutely had the best time. And I would honestly go back in there and just do the exact same things all over again.
Would you? You've no regrets?
Oh, I mean, there are some things I might definitely change.
Yeah, but you would do it all over again.
Yeah, 100% I would do it all over again. I think you've got to remember, be in there for an experience and have fun. And then you can't really go too wrong. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
We have to talk about your journey in there because obviously I remember your relationship with Jax. And I feel like so many girls at home were screaming at the TV. They were screaming again when Adam came in. But they were just screaming because it seems like there was a bit of gaslighting going on. Like a lot of people at home were talking about that. What's it like being in there in an intense relationship? Because all you can do is believe what's right in front of you.
Yeah, I do hear it, but I'll give it to Jax. It really wasn't like that. So I think you have to remember it gets edited and shown in a different perspective to what it really is. So there was no gaslighting from him. It was nothing but like good fun. I mean, we had our ups and downs in it, but it wasn't as bad as gaslighting. 100%.
And are you guys friends now? You're on good terms?
Yeah, we are on good terms.
Whoa, I like that. So obviously he left, right? So that was like a really big storyline in your season. And it was so upsetting. I think everybody had a little cry at home, especially when he was saying goodbye to the lads. But was there any part of you that considered for a second going with him?
There really was, and it was in that split moment. We had talked about it. He had said that he was thinking about leaving, and it was like, right, if I leave with him, I don't have the security of him actually even being my boyfriend right now. So am I leaving for something that might not even ever come anyway? I just needed that security, and then I probably would have laughed with him if he was like, no, we are together.
And he seemed so supportive about you staying though as well. He wasn't even forcing you to go.
No, I know, and that was what else was throwing me. I was like, if he's encouraging me to stay, is he really just doing this for himself? And he needs this time by himself to go out. So, and that was the other thing. He had a lot going on, and the last thing he would have needed was to come out with a girlfriend as well, and to manage that, and to manage whatever else he had to manage. So I was a bit like, oh, do I, don't I? So.
And was that just the most emotional day for you when he told everybody he was leaving?
It was a really horrible day. And I think after he left, I spent most of the time outside with the producers, because I was just in, it's like, why am I here then?
Yeah.
I was in such a little bitch mode. I was like, I'm not doing it.
And were they just trying to persuade you to stay and be like, it's all okay, it's all going to work out?
Yeah, because they call you before and they're like, oh, look, if he leaves, are you going to leave? And I was like, oh, what do you mean? I was like, no, he's not going to leave.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was very back and forth.
Because I feel like a lot of Islanders talk about the producer's involvement, and I'm always so intrigued. Are they that involved, or are they only getting involved when something really big is happening?
I would say that it's quite a heavy hand.
Because I know, okay, so we all know the voice of God is there, right? So we know that, but I think recently in an interview, someone was saying that there's actually a producer in the villa. Sometimes they'll be have your chat over there. I think the public don't really know that.
Yeah, you get so at dinner time, you'll all get called out. You'll get called out and you'll have your chats and they'll be like, well, what are you thinking about this? What are you thinking about that? Or maybe you should do this or that. So it's a little bit influenced, but they never, if you say, I don't want to do something, or I don't want to go down that route, they're not going to make you do it. So it is still very much in your core. It's just I
saw an interview with Ian Sterling during the week, and he was saying that they never want to show the Islanders eating dinner. And I'm like, what goes on during dinner? Is there something exciting? And he was like, they just don't want to show it.
It's great fun. That is the most fun. We're singing, we're having great jokes, great banter. Yeah, you're missing out.
So obviously you have been through ups and downs in the villa, like I said. We're not going to go too deep into it, but when Adam came into the villa as a bombshell, I just want to see what it's like, where your head was at the time, because you didn't really know much about him. You were really low from Jax. At the time, was it like a saving grace? Was it like, okay, this is great, my journey starts again?
So when he initially came in, obviously me and Jax were just about to go back on track to things.
Yeah.
And it was very much no, come on, you have to go on the dates, give him a chance and all this. And I was like, okay, whatever, go along with it sort of thing. And then Jax left. And then obviously me and Adam just kind of, we were the only ones left single, so it was just a natural thing to go together. So,
does a part of you wish you had seen his season before?
Oh, 100%. I wish I had watched that season.
Yeah. So I want to know, who are you still friends with now from that season? Because we talked about it with some of the contestants from this year. There seems to be a lot of bitchiness behind the scenes.
Yes.
It seems like on the show everybody gets on and then they come out and suddenly they're like, you don't know what was going on in the dressing room, and she said this and she said that. Was that going on in your season too?
Nowhere near as bad as this season. I think I was really fortunate to have a great group of people in my season. So I'm definitely closest with Danica. I love her, which is mad because on the show they made it look like me and her were
I was
not
gonna say,
friends. So yeah, we are proper close. And then Antigone, obviously Sildami, Luca. I'm pretty much friends with everyone really, but they're the ones I talk to the most.
And is it good to have that kind of group from the show? Because only you guys know what it's like to go through what you did. No one can really understand.
Yeah, you definitely need them around because, like you said, friends at home don't get it.
Yeah.
You know, and other people you meet, then they've been through something else completely different too. So it is hard to relate. So it's nice to have the support from the guys.
You have Love Island PTSD. PTSD. So there was rumours of feuds in the house. So it sounds like there wasn't really feuds then. You guys were getting on all okay.
Yeah, absolutely in there. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. You did say after you left the show that you thought some couples were faking their romance. Do you still stand by that?
Right, okay. I'm sorry. I was feeling really hormonal. No, I'm joking. We can't blame on hormones. I said it with my chest. I'll stick with it. At the time when I said it, there was people that was like playing up to it a bit. Okay. But since it's all calm. And
it's all good.
Legit. It's cute.
It's all good now. So what's life been like since you left the villa? Like, was there loads of lads in the DMs? Were you like, I don't want to even see another boy? Like, how's it been since you came out?
So since I came out, obviously I was still with Adam, so kind of like turned a blind eye to it all.
Yeah.
And then after that, I've just been on this like thing of like, I just hate all men. I'm sorry, I love y'all, but I don't want y'all.
A lot of girls here agree. I am one of them. Yes. So you've just been doing you.
Yeah, 100%. Focusing on me, and then still focusing on me again after that.
And obviously, I think a lot of people really warmed to you because of your job, that you're a paramedic before you went on the show. Are you still a paramedic now?
Yeah, still a paramedic, and
Amazing.
I do shifts as and when I can. So whenever I'm free at home and I'm not doing anything, I'm like, right, what have we got going on? And help out wherever I can.
So it's just really important to you to make sure you were still doing that?
Yeah, 100%. It's something that I worked really hard for and something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
So I was never going to give it up no matter what anyway. I love it. I absolutely love it. So it's not even like work then, is it?
And what advice would you have for anybody who is going to go for Love Island? You might have some people here tonight who might be going for it next season. What would be your advice?
My advice would be to always stay true to yourself. And even though I know you're on there for a show and to make entertainment and all that, just don't fall into it. Don't be a puppet. Yeah. Just go with what feels right for you, and just always stay true to yourself, because then you can never go wrong or regret anything.
And I personally believe never leave with the guy you're coupled up with. I'm like, stay in, enjoy your time.
Yes, I also agree to this.
So we need to talk about this season. First of all, is it weird? Like, were you a bit kind of torn about watching it or not? Because you were just on the show. Were you a bit like, I don't want to do this all over again and see everything?
Yeah, do you know what? It was the first night it came on, and I was on FaceTime to one of the islanders I was on with. And we were like, oh, shall we put it on or not? And we were both like, oh.
You're like, watching party.
We're not going to. I couldn't give into it. It's almost like you're watching it and it's like, well, I want to be back there. Yeah. I want to go back and do all my time again. Yeah. Jealous.
Because that's one of the questions I was going to ask you. Like, there's lots of talks about an all-stars Love Island. Would you be tempted?
I think it
as
depends.
long as certain people weren't also there.
I think it depends who was in there and whatnot. But it's such an experience, and it is what you make it. And if I would go in just to have fun, I wouldn't be looking for love.
So back to the season. Obviously, we have the three couples in the final tonight. It's Sammy and Tom, Ron and Lana, Shaq and Tanya. Who is your favourite couple?
I am absolutely rooting for Kai and Sanam.
Oh, Kai and Sanam, I forgot them. Oh my God, sorry. And do you know what? They have been nearly everybody's favourite today, so I apologise for forgetting them. How come? You just think they're the real deal?
Yeah, I really do. And I like that, Kai's a teacher, Sanam's a social worker. I like that they've got like these really good groundings behind them. Yeah. And they've not been having a huge amount of airtime, but I think that's because they're having proper, genuine conversation.
Yeah, so there's no drama going on in the background.
Yeah, so I think they're going to be the real deal when they come out.
And I think every season couples get accused of being fake and not real. Yeah. Do you think anyone in this season hasn't been real?
I wouldn't say maybe not real. I think some people's feelings are being exacerbated because they're in that situation.
Name names.
Girl, I'm sorry, I love you, but Tanya, what are you doing in Casa? Like, come on. And I can really empathise with Shaq here because, I kind of went through this, and it's hurtful, it's painful, and then when you really like that person, you're always going to take them back, especially in that environment. So
you don't have much choice when you're there as well. So do you think that, because obviously 3 people had recoupled in Casa Amor, do you think that people took them back just too soon? Well, they didn't recouple, sorry. 3 people basically cheated in Casa Amor. And Tanya recoupled with Martin. But do you think they all took them back too soon?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I could not take people back that soon. They've got to grovel, really, 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 really grovel. Yeah. But I think everyone just had really big hearts in there this year and just like, come back to bed. So, yeah, it's not for me.
Great. So what's your predictions, the final question? Who do you think will win? I know you want Kai and Sanam to win, but who will win? Do you think it will be them?
I don't think it will. As much as I want them to, I really do. I think it might be Tom and Sammy that will actually win. Not
Tom
sure.
and Sammy. And what advice would you have for any of the winners tonight? Just what it's like coming out of the villa into the real world?
Oh, embrace it. Take all of the highs. There will be lows, but surround yourself with your family, your friends. Remember where you came from and just take each day in its stride and ignore the trolls.
Amazing. Can we get a round of applause for Paige? Love spilling the tea. Right, so it's time for our next exclusive interview. She turned a few heads when she entered the villa this season as a bombshell, but she left the villa a single gal. Since leaving the show, she has really been given all the goss on her YouTube, and we're just dying to get some more. So take a look at our chat with Love Island 2023 star Ellie Spence. Ellie, hello. Welcome to the Goss Countdown. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Are you about to get ready for the big party tonight?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Who are you most looking forward to seeing now for a little reunion?
Jessie and Will. And Shaq and Jessie and Will, because they were just like, I'm obsessed with Jessie, as everybody knows. And Will was just like, how can you not love Will?
I know, he's the most lovable TV character.
He really is, bless him.
So let's go back to the start of your journey. You came in as a bombshell. Do you wish you were there as an OG, or are you happy with how the journey went for you?
Do you know what? I just don't live with any regrets. And I just think, even though it was undeniably, it was quite hard for me in the beginning, I did become so close with everybody towards the end. So I did overall have a really good experience. So I wouldn't change anything for the world.
It kind of felt like you were an OG, to be honest, by the time you left, because you kind of fit in so easily when you came in.
Oh, no. To be honest, it took me a minute, but once I got there, honestly, we were all so close. Like when I was leaving, we were all like, oh my God. We were so shocked. We were, honestly, I said to Jessie, I was like, babes, it's not long and I'll see you again. So I'm so excited.
And it's so hard coming in as a bombshell because everybody says that you have to kind of have some bit of a plan. I don't want to use the word game plan, but you do have to go in there with the plan because as a bombshell, your time is limited. So what kind of plan did you have in your head walking through those doors?
Well, I think that's why I'm sitting here, is because I didn't. I wish now, looking back, I wish that I don't know, to be honest, my brain just doesn't function like that. I'm very much like I live in the moment and I just take things as they come. So I kind of just went in as myself. And I just feel like with experiences like that, you just have to take them for what they are. And I didn't really have a game. I didn't have a game plan, but I still had a good, I still really enjoyed my experience. So.
And before we get into the Tom triangle, because the drama that came with Terrace Tom this season, my God, before we go into that, you obviously chose Ron when you first landed. So what made you go for him?
I did. Well, we were able to obviously watch the episodes before we went in. And when I watched Ron, I just felt like he was funny. He was quite similar to me. I really felt like he was going to make me feel most comfortable when I was in there. And obviously I thought he was a really attractive boy. So I just was like, I'm just going to go with Ron. But it was hard, obviously, because I'm a massive personality person and I couldn't speak to anybody beforehand. Yeah. But from what I'd seen, it was I felt like I'd most be aligned with Ron.
Now, obviously, you really shook up the house when you came in because you got Tom to join you on the terrace. There was a secret little kiss. There was a secret around the house. Then Olivia was told. Then Zara was told. It seemed like such a big drama. So what was that all like to go through?
Oh my God, it was crazy when you were in there. I mean, it looks dramatic on TV, but when you're living in it, it's actually 100 times more dramatic. Oh, no. But to be honest, I kind of, do you know what? It was fine. In the moment, I was a bit oh my God, what is going on? But yeah, we all spoke out the next day. Tom came and pulled me and said sorry. And I was kind of sorry for, not sorry, but you have to bombshell. You have to go in there and do what you have to do. But we all kind of knew that everybody understood.
And was it hard being in a triangle in the house so soon? Because did you feel like everyone kind of had their eyes on you then?
Oh, 100%, 100%. Do you know what? It's funny because in there's only a select few people. So unless you kind of were Will and Jessie, it was inevitable that you were kind of ending up in triangles or squares. Yeah. So yeah, it was hard, but that's just part of the experience, I guess. It's part of Love Island.
So obviously you got to know Tom really well in there. Do you think Tom and Sammy now, are they the real deal? Because it feels like Tom didn't really know what he wanted for the first couple of weeks in there.
Oh yeah, Tom used to like stand by the fire pit and like twiddle his fingers. He was like living in there. I was like, Tom, I wish I could be you right now. But yeah, no, they definitely are. Like when I was in there, the way Tom looked at Sammy and the way Sammy looked at Tom, like they are very much in love. Like they do have a spark. So it was nice to see. Actually, I think they'll definitely have longevity when they come out.
Now, recently you did a YouTube video where you spilled so much tea in Love Island. You've got so many views on it now. I think everyone was dying for it. So you talked about a lot of the drama that wasn't really shown on the show. So was there a worse divide than we really knew about?
No, to be honest, I actually spill everything on my YouTube. I mean, I feel like I got the tagline genuine in there because like I am genuine, but I'm more so just honest. Like I just say it exactly how it is and how it happened. So obviously at the time there was a divide, but towards the end, like we all became so close. So drama in there only really lasted like a couple of days. But yeah, I did spill everything.
So was there more tension between the girls than there was between the couples? Because gathering from your video, it sounded like there was.
Oh my God, there was tension between the girls. There was tension between the boys. Do you know what? It's weird because watching it through the TV, you never think about it. But when you're in there, it's like you're around these people all the time. So inevitably, like tensions are going to run high at points and everybody's emotions are involved. But yeah, I mean, there was tensions flying about here, there and everywhere. But I guess that is just part of, yeah, like I said, you know, it's bound to happen.
We were chatting to Danielle at the start of the show and she did say that she's going to do a retaliation YouTube to your YouTube video. We don't know what she's going to say, but she said she had a few thoughts about it that she disagreed with.
I'm sure everybody has their own opinions. I mean, to be honest, I feel like when I came out, I just like had to, you know, say my little piece. But I'm really looking forward to now like seeing everybody now they're out and just like watching people flourish and like everybody kind of, yeah, flourish in their own directions now. Like I'm ready to move on from the drama. I was kind of trying to run away from the drama in there after my first couple of days. So, yeah.
Do you think, especially now that you're out and you can rethink about things, do you think anyone actually had a game plan while you were in there?
I mean, I think definitely a couple of people did have game plans. And I wish that I'd have taken notes from them because I might have still been there. So like, good for them, to be honest. But yeah, probably. I mean, it is a game show after all.
Obviously, Casa Amor was so dramatic this year, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Did you think that, you know, Sammy, Shaq, Jessie, did they take back their significant others a bit too easily?
Do you know what? I actually don't think that they did. I know that that's probably like unpopular opinion, but when you're in there, really from like breakfast to lunch, it feels like a week. So they, you know, after a couple of days, it feels like a month in there. And yeah, I feel like, you know, they always have to come home and I feel like they're all where they're meant to be. So I don't think so.
And now that you're out of the villa, is there anyone else you would have coupled up with if you could do it all over again?
No, there isn't. I made such close friendships with all of the boys in there and all of the girls. And no, I mean, I feel like the same people obviously always going to be in there. I mean, apart from the Casa boys, no, there isn't really anybody. I don't even think, I mean, I was gutted when I left before Casa, but I don't think any of the Casa boys would have really been for me anyway. So it's definitely like my time.
And tell us, the goss, has anyone been sliding into your DMs?
Oh my God, the DMs have been going off.
Yes, I love to hear it. Yes.
No, the DMs have been going off. I find it hard to keep up with my DMs. A couple of like random ones in the message requests too. And I'm like, you're so sneaky. You need to follow me. But yeah, no, the DMs have been good. I've been enjoying myself since I've come out. Like it's been really good.
Love to hear it. Okay, so the last questions then. Who do you think is going to win tonight? But also who do you want to win? So they could be two different answers.
Who do I think is going to win? To be honest, who I think is going to win and who I want to win are the same as the same couple. So I think I definitely want Tom and Sammy to win. I just think that they really are like a good couple. I mean, actually, oh my God, I don't know. Let me think about this.
See, Ron and Lana is getting the popular vote today as well.
Are they? Do you know what? Actually, I feel like me and Kai were very close in there as well. Like he's such a good boy, and I think Kai and Sanam. I think that they'll last the longest on the outside. I really do. Really? I just think that, yeah, I think they're really well suited, and I think they deserve it.
Amazing. Well, look, thank you so much for chatting with us today. Have the best time at the after party. We're dying to see all the photos and the footage from tonight, so have a great time. Thanks so much.
You too. Bye.
Thanks so much.
It's time to be you. Be brave. Be confident. Have fun. Wear your wonderful. Shop Shein.
Hey guys, we are back, and look who's with us. We have a winner in our midst. It's the Love Island 2021 winner, Liam Reardon.
What's going on, guys?
Woo! Are you enjoying Dublin tonight?
I'm loving Dublin. We weren't supposed to drink tonight, but I think it's my 6th time in Dublin, and I've been absolutely legless every time. So I was going to do tonight sober, but...
We did literally pull you a pint of Guinness, so I think it's on us.
You did, yeah. But no, when I'm in Dublin, I got to have a drink.
So we have to go back to the start of your journey. I love this phrase. It's always used in Love Island. So Love Island 2021, how did you get involved in the show? How did it all happen?
I was actually working out in Ocean Beach in Ibiza. 2009. I was 19, 2019. And the casting crew, they come out there looking for people. And they found me there. And
were you just like doing sit-ups or something casually?
No, I was a host. I was working in Ocean Beach. So they found me there. And originally I was meant to go on the winter one.
Yes.
Decided not to go on it. I was only like 20 at that time. So I decided not to go on it. Then they asked me to go on the summer one of 2020. And then I got to the end of the process. Then it got cancelled because of COVID.
Yeah.
And then I remember 2021, January, I was laying bricks in Wales. It was absolutely pissing down the rain, freezing cold. And I had the call, "Hi, Liam, you still single?" I was like, 100%.
You're like, I don't know who this is, but yeah.
yeah, 100%.
So what was the villa experience like for you? Because I think all of us watching tonight, the finale, I think it's really hard for us to grasp what it genuinely is like in there.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
To be fair, like my journey, I kind of completed it, I kind of call it. You know, I went on the show. I was there from basically the start.
Yeah, because you were a bombshell, right? But you felt like an OG because you just kind of slipped right in.
Well, I think I was one of the first bombshell. Me and Chugs, my mate Chugs, we walked in and...
we had Chugs on the show last year. Love Chugs, yeah.
I was there for the entirety and, I went on to win the show. So, my journey was amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had my ups and downs.
Yeah, we'll get into those.
It is tough, As much as you're in the sun, it's amazing. You're on Love Island, it's a crazy experience. It is tough, Like, imagine being in a villa now. It sounds bad, a villa in the sun, but...
imagine being in the sunshine and getting paid to be there.
You with like 30-odd other adults, and you're just under one roof, and you're not going to get on with everyone.
Yeah.
And it's going to be drama, there's going to be arguments, and you can't escape.
Yeah.
If you argue with someone on a night out, you go home.
Yeah.
You're stuck in the bloody...
You're stuck
in the same bedroom.
Yeah, you have to sometimes in the same bed. So you have to confront people head on. So would you say you don't miss villa life then?
I would go back in a heartbeat.
You would?
I would go back in a heartbeat.
Because I wanted to ask you the same question I asked Paige. Would you go on Love Island All-Stars?
Personally, I don't think that would work.
Why?
Because the people who've done it now, like when you come away from there, you look back and you are naive when you first go in the villa. You've never done TV. You've never done something like this. So you are a little bit naive, and I probably wouldn't do some of the stuff which I did back then.
Yeah. Given everybody was watching.
Yeah, exactly. But I think some of the people who would go back as an all-star, they wouldn't be so naive to do certain things either. So I just don't think it'd work. They have to switch it up, do something different with it, not just do the same process.
Yeah. See, I'd love to see Maura Higgins back in there. Would you guys love to see Maura? Yeah. There's some really good OGs I'd love to see back in there again. But apparently they're planning that for the 10-year anniversary, so we'll wait and see if Liam's going to be there. I felt that your season was really fiery. Did you find it hard to bite your tongue? Because people are watching, because you can't really be getting into fights with people when you're in there.
Well, there's a few fiery characters there.
Yeah.
There's a few fiery ones. I wasn't.
Because you were very tame, I have to say. Like, you didn't really get involved in the drama.
Very dry, I think I've been called. I am quite dry.
But was it a conscious decision to be like, I don't want to be a part of this?
I just don't like drama.
Yeah.
I don't like drama, and some people just thrive off drama. And, but if it's something which is wrong or right, I will stand up and say, that's wrong. But, like, if I can bite my tongue, that's easier to bite your tongue.
I love how you're saying now you don't like drama, because there was quite a bit of drama in your season.
I was involved in a fair bit of drama.
I actually think out of all of the Casa Amor recouplings to date, yours was probably the most dramatic because it was the first time they asked someone from Casa, who did you have a connection with? Do we remember the Lily situation, guys?
I don't think you can forget, can you?
Yeah. Did you have genuinely no idea that Laura Whitmore was going to ask that question? Or did you have a niggly feeling that she was going to say something?
I just thought I came back on my own. I thought, yeah, everything's
fine.
Hunky-dory, everything's all sweet.
No one's going to see what happened.
And then Lily walks in and drops that shit. I was like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah.
But she came in, I heard the footsteps. I was like, oh, God, just please don't say nothing. But I would have told Millie everything anyway.
Yeah. It's just so hard when it's in that public moment.
Yeah, but I would have gone on and told her. It's just I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah.
Lily kind of told her everything first, and she made it a little bit worse than, more than what it was. But yeah, when we were in Casa Amor that morning, you have a recoupling. So the guys sit on the sofa, and the girls stand up, and you like a normal recoupling. They just don't show it on TV. And I said, look, I'm sticking with Millie. I've said this the whole time, and Lily was fine with that. She was fine with it, obviously, and they split us apart then.
Yeah.
Come the night time. She
drops
that bomb, and then so it was the most worst moment of my life.
Was it?
I was sat there and I just wanted to disappear. Everybody was staring at me.
Yeah.
It was all like new cast there.
Yeah.
I knew the camera was pointing at my face. Millions of people back home watching me, and I was like, I look like a twat.
And did you feel?
I'm like this. I was laughing. And
did you feel Millie's eyes just burning into your soul as she turned to you?
It was horrendous. Millie looked like fucking disgusting. And I'm like, oh God. And all the other girls there, and they're like piping up as I was like, I don't want to evaporate, just disappear.
I have to ask, what is Casa Amor like? Because it really does seem to cause so much hassle. Like, are the boys just so happy and free to be let loose that they just don't think of the consequences? Because like, it was very bad this year again.
Well...
Like,
it seems like it's a running course, isn't it?
Like, is it just genuinely a reflection of a real lads' holiday, or is it because you've been cooped up for so long?
It's not a lads' holiday. They tell you to say lads' holiday, but we had to stick for that. But when the girls say girls' holiday, it's all fine. The lads say lads' holiday. It's the worst thing in the world. But it wasn't a lads' holiday. It was intense. I did enjoy it, and I did things which I shouldn't have done.
So do you regret it, or are you like the experience was the experience, like the decisions that you made?
It's a tough one to say, isn't it? Because I do regret it. But the experience was the experience. And it took us on a journey and, made me and Millie stronger, if anything.
Yeah.
But I do regret upsetting Millie. That's what I do regret.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you. A lot of people say that you need the test. So did you actually genuinely feel it was something that made you guys stronger as a couple? Going through the kind of argument, the lies, the cheating.
Well, yeah, I don't want to sound like Ron now, saying you go on a journey. But it did put us on a journey, and and afterwards.
And then you won the show.
Yeah, I didn't do too bad. So
it was a good journey.
But people hated me. Like, my sister was running my Instagram account, and the whole of the UK absolutely hated me, I think, because I was the one. That was started all this stuff. Since then, it's been like, but
they're like, let's do a Liam on it.
Yeah, but I had 4 weeks after to redeem myself. We went on to win the show, so it didn't go too bad. So.
Actually, speaking of, you're saying your sister's running the account. What did you think of the decision this year to not have any of the accounts active and no family members involved?
It's peak.
Yeah.
Look, it's when they come off. Like, people like to see the journey as you're in there.
Yeah, I think so too.
And when you go on there, I know it sounds daft, but people like you've got to a bit of a following.
Yeah.
And it can change your life.
Yeah.
By not running the Instagram account, people won't come up to us a big following, which is, it is...
You come out and you have like 10 followers now.
Yeah, which is fine, but then if you're going in there just to find a relationship, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have expectations.
How many followers did you have when you came out?
I can't remember.
A few million.
But no, it's good in a way because it does stop trolling. Like, I had terrible trolling. My mother and sister had to see that, and
that must have been really tough on them.
I'm my mother's baby boy, and some of the stuff people say on there, it wasn't nice. So she found it. My dad didn't give a shit. He didn't.
Your dad was the one writing in himself.
He knew it was all bullshit. Yeah. My mother, it upset my mother.
So we need to talk about this season because I feel like the boys are getting a bit of a bad rap this season. Do you think the boys have been misbehaving?
I think the women have been awful.
Yeah.
Much worse than the guys.
Do you guys agree the boys have been very bold? Yeah.
It's about time as well. They give a more stick than the guys do.
Yeah. So who do you think, from your perspective, has been playing a game?
Look, I know it's difficult in there, but Tanya, come on.
Yeah. God, that's a common theme tonight.
But you can't... I know I did what I did.
Yeah.
I held my hand up.
But at least you didn't bring the person back, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't bring her back. But you can't tell someone, I love you, I love you, I love you. Go to Casa Amor, lay it on Martin. Is Martin?
Yeah.
He is a suave guy. He's cool. He is cool,
man. He is a cool man,
But I'm bringing back.
Yeah.
And then, like, even movie night, she was having to go with Shaq.
Yeah.
Shaq's done nothing. Done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You've been too, calm, if anything.
was your movie night extremely stressful?
You know, it was never ending for me, I think.
They just kept rolling on to the next clip over and over. Who have been your favourite Islanders this season?
Well, from the start, I really like Kai.
Yeah.
I always see this nonsense online. I see with Ron, like, petition to get Kai and Ron out, these men, the horror men.
Yeah.
They're just doing what any person would do on the outside. You just,
Yeah.
you know, you speak to people, you speak to multiple people, and they were just doing what they're doing.
That's
and,
the name of the game.
and it's funny, you know, people hated them like they hated me. But in the final now, you know, like...
They're in the final.
You know, you've got to go on a journey, and I like Kai. He's cool.
So who do you think is going to go the full, like, who's going to actually last outside of the show from what you've seen so far?
It's hard because, you know, myself and Millie, we had an incredible journey. And, you know, when we came out, everything was amazing. But it is difficult. You come out to all this completely new life.
Yeah.
There's so much expectations. You know, me and Millie were together, but it was also felt like we were in a relationship with the rest of the UK.
Yeah, because everybody wanted to know.
And, everyone wants to be involved, so it is difficult. So they are faced with all them challenges. But, you know, as long as they concentrate on each other, hopefully they last. But Kai and Sanam seem lovely.
You think that they might be the
they
ones
all
to
seem
win?
like nice couples, you know, and you know, may the best person win.
Okay, so you were obviously there on finale night. Talk me through what the night was like, because it's not a normal day in the villa, right? When it's actually finale day, what happens?
It was fun. It was good. It was being done out because the final was in the garden.
Yeah.
And like when we actually came out, there was people. There was a crowd there. I think they flew at a bus over from Mallorca, people on holiday.
Yeah.
To come to the villa, and we heard people cheering. We come out, and that's the first time we saw
other people. Yeah.
We couldn't leave the villa because of COVID. We couldn't do anything. That's the first time we saw people, and I was looking in the crowd. People were like cheering, looking at me. I was like, "Why? How'd you know me?"
You're like, "I thought you hated me."
But like, it's just weird because you're just in this bubble for so long, and all of a sudden, then these people know you. They've come over from their holiday to watch you, and it's like. It's weird. It's very strange.
And did you get to sneak peek at like your phones or to know what's been going on in the world? Like, did anyone get to say, right, this is the reaction, or were you still kind of kept away from the news?
Nothing. So I did a 3-week quarantine before I actually went in the villa.
Oh my God.
I did 2 weeks for COVID, and then I did extra like 6 days where they fit me in the show. So I had no phone for that. I did 8 weeks in the show, so it's like 11, 12 weeks, something like that. And so no, we had no idea. But it's only when someone comes in as a bombshell, they come in and we're like, what's happening on the outside? You know, what's going on? And but you're mic'd up 24/7, so you can't
say anything.
Like they hear everything.
Yeah.
If you cover your mic like that, they tell you to stop.
And did you actually think you guys were going to win?
No idea whatsoever. You know, once we were in the final, I was looking down the line, and I thought, you know, like Toby and Chloe, they're funny. You know, Kaz, Tyler, they're great. Yeah. Faye and Teddy, everybody's gonna love them. We make them third or fourth.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden, Kaz and Tyler got called, Faye and Teddy, and it was 50-50 then. I was like. And I remember Laura, she said, and you know, the Love Island winner 2021. I just remember giggling to myself. And I was like, you know, a couple of months ago, I was on a building site, and all of a sudden I'm in the Love Island final. So it was.
Did any part of you want to take the check? Although it kind of feels like a tenner, to be honest.
What do you mean? What was it? So
there's a cash prize you can choose. Was there any part of you that wanted to take the money all to yourself? Well, you get that option.
I didn't. Millie had the option.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Okay.
If I had the option, I would have sold 50 grand.
You're a lucky man.
Another lad's holiday. I was very grateful she shared it as well.
Right. Last question of the night then. Who do you think is going to win Love Island Winter Series 2023?
Kai and Sanam.
Yay! Yeah. Wow, there's a lot of Kai and Sanam tonight. Okay, thank you, Liam. Give it up for Liam Reardon, guys. He's amazing.
Thank you.
Right, we're on to our final exclusive interview of the night. She was dubbed this year's Ekin-Su by episode 1 of the series, and she was involved in some of the biggest rows and the biggest love triangles this year. She was a Love Islander OG, and she only left the villa last week. Check out our exclusive interview with Olivia Hawkins. Olivia, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so sad to see that you're not in the final. You're not in the villa. How has it been since you came out?
I know. It's been crazy. It feels like I've been back for ages. It's only been a week, but it's amazing being out.
How does it feel? Because I feel like when I was watching the episode of you going home, it felt like you were almost nearly ready to go. Like you didn't seem too upset about leaving. Would that be right?
No, I got to the point where I was so happy with Maxwell. Any stage from then onwards of me leaving wouldn't have made a difference. So I was happy to leave.
So tell us about your Love Island journey, because I know a lot of people are talking about how you were in an actual ad for Love Island previously. I keep seeing these videos popping up on TikTok being like, oh, why was Olivia on an ad first? But I'm guessing you were just cast in that, right?
I know, that's so funny. I forgot I did it. That was, part of my acting. I got asked to do it years ago. It was never really a show that I thought I'd do. The opportunity came up and I thought, why not? I've never had a boyfriend. I'm still single. Let's just go for it.
And were there any fears going into the villa? Like, were you worried about how it was all going to go, or did you just kind of feel like, let's just do this and see what happens?
I didn't go in with any expectations. And yeah, I just had the best time of my life.
So let's go back to the beginning, because when you went in the villa, you set your eyes on Tom. It seems like, to be honest, out of everyone, Tom just was the one that you really, really were drawn to. So what was it about Tom from the minute you started the show that you liked?
That feels like so long ago now, going back to the start. But when Tom first came in, he wasn't actually my type. But we really got on, it didn't work out, and I feel like Sammy is way better suited to him, so I'm so happy for them. But yeah, he's a lovely boy.
So you do think they're actually a good couple now? Because obviously you've seen him from the beginning the whole way up till now. Do you actually think she's his type?
Yeah, I did have my doubts when I was in the villa, but coming out now, I do think, they're a similar age. I think they have similar goals for their futures. So yeah, I think she's definitely his type, and vice versa.
What is it about Tom? Because I think viewers were so confused, because it seemed like everybody that came into the villa at the beginning, all the bombshells, all the girls seemed to really, really want to get with Tom. His nickname is obviously Terrace Tom now.
Terrace Tom, I know. Maybe it's the height. They see 6'5".
Yeah.
And girls just go crazy, don't they, for a tall man?
And he seems very laid back as well in the villa.
He is. He's very chilled. He's very easy to talk to. Very laid back, yeah. Easy to get along with.
I know this feels like 10 years ago, but I have to talk about the Zara drama. I was living for it. I honestly think everyone felt the show had a bit of a lull for a couple of days. It was a bit quiet, and then it was like, bam, out of nowhere. We were living to see what was going to happen with you two. So how did that all start? Because obviously when she first came in, it seemed like you two were fine. It seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, we were fine. There's so many rumours flying about, but I could squash it. We did know each other.
Yeah.
We'd worked together on a shoot previously. I wouldn't say we were friends, more like work colleagues.
Okay.
It was just nice when she came in. I was like, oh, a familiar face. I was like, all the girls are going to love you. And then obviously I never thought that we'd fall out. Yeah. But looking back now, I think, we shouldn't have let the situation with Tom get between us. Tom was the one in the wrong, and it should have been directed at him and not, caused a segregation between me and Zara.
And it was so intense. Like, I remember the first fight you kind of walked back in and you were crying. I felt so bad for you, because I think from her perspective, she came across, too harsh. She was very protective over someone she had just met.
Yeah, it was hard for me because obviously I was coupled up with him first.
Yeah.
So it was almost like she came in and, she stepped on my toes. So yeah, it was really hard, and I was very down over that situation. It really took it out of me.
And how do you get to resolution in the villa? Because from a viewer point of view, suddenly the next episode came and you two were fine again. Did that take a full 24 hours for you two to talk it out? Or how did you guys come to the agreement to just be chill with each other?
Yeah, do you know what? We were mature about it, and we just thought, we don't want to spend this time arguing in here. That's not what it's about. It's about finding love at the end of the day. It's not about arguing with the girls.
Yeah.
So we just thought, let's just put it aside. We knew each other before this. We're not going to let this get between us. And we were actually fine. When she left the villa, we'd sorted things, and we'd almost built a friendship because of what happened with Ellie. Yeah. We kind of came together. It was really nice.
The drama of that episode as well. I mean, you really were just bringing the drama every time.
I really went through it.
How is it for you, though, being in there and feeling those ups and downs? Because it must be even more difficult when literally an entire nation is watching everything.
Really hard. I struggled a lot. There were times where I had to take myself off for quite a long time on the terrace and just sit and, analyse what was going on, because I was really going through it. I was very upset, and yeah, it was a struggle for me, but I came out the other side and I'm happy now. But I I had a lot of downs in there.
Yeah, because obviously when I was looking at the Casey and Claudia situation, it kind of reinstated again how difficult it is to be in the villa when the person you like is actually liking somebody else. So like, was that really hard? Because you're also in such close proximities with each other.
It's really hard, and you know, you're watching them in a bed together. You know, I remember when Zara first coupled up with Tom, and then you're like opposite them in a bed. It's really hard. It's not a natural situation to be in.
No, it's hard enough in the real world.
You wouldn't, but you just have to face situations, get over it, because the next day it's another thing.
And keeping with the girls, obviously I know since Tanyelle came out, she had a little bit of beef. It seems like there was maybe some issues simmering under the surface. Ellie came out, did a YouTube video and talked about it as well. What really was going on between you all in there?
I think, you know, it's an intense environment anyway. You've got big personalities. You're bound to clash with certain people. You're not going to get on 24/7. But I thought we were really good with dealing with it. You know, we'd always discuss it and not let it get between us as a group.
Yeah.
I thought when Tanyelle left, that the girls were really good.
Because obviously right before you left, I know there was that episode where everybody was talking about Jessie and whether or not she was real or not, and it kind of spiraled off into a couple of days of the whole villa kind of questioning her. So it's something built up, because I think as viewers were always wondering, wait, did something happen that we just don't know about? Because suddenly everyone was kind of saying the same thing.
That was really frustrating for me. I think it was shown on Aftersun last night, you know, Casey bringing up the situation, because a lot of the girls said it, and then as soon as we got to the fire pit and Jessie came over, they all went quiet, and that's why I was so frustrated, because I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not being the scapegoat. I'm happy to say what everyone else thinks, but if everyone else is going to suddenly backtrack and say they didn't say it, you know, it's really frustrating.
You didn't want to have to play the villain, because like it sounded like everybody was on the same page.
Everyone was saying it for weeks, and then as soon as we voiced it, everyone was like, oh no, I didn't say that. So yeah, that was really hard.
We have to talk about Casa Amor, because I honestly think it was one of the most dramatic Casa Amors ever in Love Island.
Yeah.
What were those couple of days like for you, and was the recoupling as dramatic as it was to watch?
Oh, it was very dramatic. Those few days, you know, you're being taken out, of your home that you've been in for 4 weeks to a new environment. You know, you're being thrown in with 6 new boys. It's a lot, but I went in with the mindset of, you know, I owe it to myself to be open and to give these boys a chance. You know, they've all gone through the same process. They deserve as much of a chance as any of the boys in the main villa. And I'm glad I did, because otherwise I wouldn't have made the connection with Maxwell. So
I know. And what was it about Maxwell? Because I think you said a couple of times during the series that, like, for you, you're a slow burner. You know, you don't jump on things. It takes time. So what was it about him? Because I feel like very quickly you actually had a connection with him.
Yeah, I feel like in Casa you can't really go too slowly, because you know you're only in there for a few days.
Yeah.
So I really gave it a shot. You know, I had many conversations with him. From the first conversation, I knew we had a lot in common. It was scary, but good. And yeah, our futures aligned with what we wanted, and things were just ticking, and it just went from there, really.
And did you expect when you came in for Kai to recouple? Because it's probably one of my favourite moments ever of a Casa Amor recoupling. The two of you going head to head, and Kai's just inability to even take part in the situation. Like, wanting to pretend it didn't happen. It was so frustrating to watch.
I know, I have to laugh when I watch that back, because I don't even recognise myself. But I was so nervous to walk through those doors. Maybe I was naive and I did think that he wouldn't be coupled up. But yeah, looking back now, I even said that night to Sanam in my conversation that I was a hypocrite in what I said. But I was going through it. I was emotional. Yeah. You know, us girls, we all say crazy things when our emotions are high.
Yeah, 100%. And to be fair with Kai, I do think he owed you an apology. Did you ever get that apology? Because he did say that you were basically fake and never backed up what he was saying, and just kind of, you know, went off in the sunset with Sanam as if he didn't even mean it.
Yeah, it was only the frustration from, you know, the fact that he just quickly turned. And I know I did come back with someone, but I still had feelings for Kai when I walked through that door.
Yeah.
So I think it was more the case that he just switched out of nowhere. And I really just wanted to know, you know, why he thought I was fake. And a lot was being put in my head from the Casa Amor boys in the villa, which I don't think was shown. But, you know, every day they were saying to me, we don't think Kai's genuine with you. You know, you were the only single girl. When things happened with you, do you really think that it's real? And that had me really questioning. So when I walked through those doors, I was already annoyed because I thought, you know, that Kai had only gone for me because I was the only single girl at the time.
See, there seems to be a bit of a pattern with Kai that he just like suddenly changed his mind. So do you think him and Sanam can actually make it to the long haul? Like, are they the real deal?
Yeah, being in there with them, they're lovely as a couple.
Okay.
They suit each other so well. You know, she's in the NHS, he's a teacher. I can just imagine them having babies and settling down. I'm really happy for them, and I love Sanam. She's a gorgeous girl.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans of her out there. And earlier we were chatting to Tanyelle. I know I was saying to you that like she did her own video talking about what went on in the show, and she said to me that out of everyone she meets tonight, she's nervous to meet you because she thinks you two are going to have a few words.
Who, Tanyelle?
Yes.
Oh, that she was dumped and she feels like we had a part to play in it. But at the time, she really didn't have anyone in the villa there for her, you know.
Yeah.
She said multiple times that Jordan wasn't her type. With Spencer, she wasn't really feeling it that much. She'd only been speaking to him for a day. So out of everyone, it was right for Ellie to stay because her and Jordan actually had something.
Before we get on to the final...
I'm excited to speak to her tonight. Honestly, anything left in the villa is left at the door from my side.
I look forward to seeing your selfies tonight, making up. And before we get on to the final questions then, I know a lot of people have been throwing around the word snake, game player. Who do you think, if anyone in the villa, was actually playing a game?
I don't know. It's really hard. I almost think, you know, there's some people playing a game to a certain extent because it is a game show and they know there's a prize at the end of it. But I don't think anyone is playing a game with their feelings. I think all the feelings are real and all the couples are real. But we'll just see who laughs on the outside.
So who do you think then is going to win tonight and who do you want to win tonight?
I'm rooting for Lana and Ron all the way. I think it's between Lana and Ron and Kai and Sanam. I'd be happy with either. I think people think I'm going to be really annoyed if Kai and Sanam win, but honestly, I think all of them deserve it.
Yeah. You're letting bygones be bygones.
Honestly, when I left, we were great. I'm so happy for them.
Great. Well, look, thank you so much for having time chatting to us today and have the best time at the after party. We cannot wait to see all the pictures and all the coverage, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Lovely to speak to you. Bye.
It's time to be you. Be brave. Be confident. Have fun. Wear your wonderful. Shop Shein.
Oh, I really loved that interview. I have to say, I am going to miss the castmates from the winter series of Love Island 2023. Now, to wrap up the show, I'm back with Goss.ie's deputy editor, Sophie Clark. Sophie, before we go into who's going to win tonight, what's been your favourite moments from this series?
There's definitely been a lot of memorable moments. I love always movie night. I feel like it's just the drama from movie night, the drama from Casa Amor. Like, I love when people's antics are finally exposed. Loved all that. Loved the talent show. I think that's always a funny watch. Like, Will's rapping was just iconic in this one.
Yeah.
And then I did also love, like, in terms of funny moments, when Kai called out Kim.
No, like, can we reenact that? Kim?
So funny.
No, I don't know her. It's not Kim. That was one of my favourite moments of the show. I love that they showed that. There was no need.
And then, like, fans actually tracked down the real Kim. It's so funny. Like, and she actually did look very like her, in fairness, so I get where he came from.
Yeah, I think they thought they were throwing in another ex again last season. Yeah, I think that was definitely one of the best moments for me. And I actually loved the moment when Jessie came back into the villa and she clearly didn't understand the Casa Amor rules, so she didn't know if Will was single or not. Yeah. That, like, hurt my heart. That was, like, a beautiful moment for me.
I think so, because I know there was a kind of questioning towards the end whether she was real or not. And I think before that there was also questioning as to whether she really did love Will. And
You can't fake that.
No,
you can't
she
fake
looked heartbroken
that.
then afterwards.
And your favourite character from the show? I think Will was definitely one of mine.
Yeah, Will was definitely a character. Like he made the show very entertaining. He had a great bromance with the lads as well, and everyone just seemed to love him.
And a shout out to Martin, our boy Martin.
Loved Martin, yeah.
So right, final question of the night then. Who do you think is going to win Love Island? We're 15 minutes away, guys, from the final.
I'm kind of I'm torn because I love Kai and Sanam very much, and I do think everyone seems to love them a lot.
Yeah.
I do think because they're one of the newer couples, they may not make it till the very end. They may come third, I'm thinking.
Okay.
My predictions are Tom and Sammy first, then I think Ron and Lana maybe second, and then I think Kai and Tanya, Tanya and Shaq. I think Tanya kind of ruined it for them. I think they're probably going to be fourth.
They're done.
Yeah.
I don't actually like Kai. I feel like I'm the only person. I wasn't into his antics this season. I think Sammy and Tom are going to win, but I'd actually love to see Ron and Lana win because kind of like Liam and Millie, they've gone through a journey. I like seeing that. I like the journey of the ups and downs, and in the end, we've got it. So guys, I'm going to ask the audience now, who do you think is going to win tonight? So shout for Ron and Lana. Oh. Okay, shout for Sammy and Tom. Oh, okay, shout for Shaq and Tanya. No. And then shout for Kai and Sanam. Yeah,
I think it's tough between the two.
It's between the two of them.
I do think that Tom and Sammy as well also got the winners out with their final date. With it was so romantic. I kind of think it's going to lean towards them.
It's going to be them.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's it from us tonight. Obviously, make sure to catch all the gossip after the final tonight on goss.ie. A special thank you to Sheen Ireland, who are our sponsors tonight, and you can use the code GOSSLI15 for 15% off. A huge thank you as well to the Grafton Hotel. They've been amazing. We had a great time shooting here, and thank you to everybody in the room tonight. I hope you had a great time. Thank you.